The Price is Right, we would go in the backyard and we would play cards. And then we would go to her room and she would give us crackers and hot flakes. And I would ask my mom, I'm like, Mom, can we go get hot flakes? She's like, what is that? And I'm like, I don't know, Lola gave it to us. And then after we would get hot flakes, I would show my Lola. I'm like, Lola, look, I got hot flakes. And she's like, oh, wow. And she secretly had this big, like, 6-pack of stash in her room, and she just gave it to me. So Lola really thought of others before herself, whether it was if you needed somewhere to sit or somewhere to eat. She would always be there to make sure that she would accommodate you first before herself. Even at the nursing home, she would offer us every snack and drink she had on the bedside table. And then even when I would go to the nursing home, I was still surprised she would remember me. And that's one thing also about her, was that she had great memory. It was probably 10 times better than most people her age. Even when she was in her 70s, she would still remember my birthday and call our house. And even if we didn't pick up, she would leave a message on the voicemail and say, oh, Miss Karen, this is Lola, happy birthday. And I'll always remember all those times she would wish me a happy birthday. And she was always happy and always smiling, and we would never forget that she was always happy. And so, although her physical presence is gone, her spirit will remain in our minds and hearts for as long as we live. And we'll never forget you, Lola. We love you.
Hi, my name is Jerry. I am Reggie's and Francis' youngest son. I prepared something on my phone, so if I don't look up, just excuse me. It's very weird to think that Nana is actually gone. That is definitely not something I'm used to saying or to even think about. But from what I can recall not too long ago, before Nana had passed, I added a certain portion to my daily prayer that just came to me out of nowhere. My usual prayers are simply me talking to God in my own words, nothing that requires me to read off of something, and there's no restrictions whatsoever. Whatever comes to mind, I do say it. And when it came to the part where I pray for those that have passed away, I found myself one day adding a part to it that goes like this. I know it must be very hard to lose a loved one. I know it hasn't happened to me tremendously yet, but I know it will have to happen sooner or later, because that's just how life is, and that's just how life goes. And then I also said, please help me be prepared for it. Nana is the first person that I've lost who I was, and a lot of my family was actually pretty close to. I would first like to thank her for always taking care of me and my siblings, especially when we were young. I'll never forget the times where I would have to use the bathroom, and when I was finished, I would scream, Nana, I'm done. And she would drop anything she was doing and just come to the bathroom. And she was already struggling to walk, but she never failed to wipe my butt clean. And she was always so patient. For example, that one instance, and with me and my brother and my sister, we were a handful, and I honestly can't think of the time where she got mad at us. There were also times where she'd get annoyed of us after we'd mess with her, but I always remember her face would just give us a look that said, stop it, that's enough, in a very calm manner. She would just sit there quietly in her turquoise blue office chair. Not once did she ever yell at me. She used to always give me everything I wanted if she could, like snacks at the Filipino store at Fairway Glen, candy from the liquor store like all of us here, and just whatever she could take out of that brown little UPS coin purse. Even recently, when I would visit her at her care home, she would always offer me food that she had in her cabinet or give me anything she won from her bingo games. She always tried to teach us new things. One in particular is the spelling of Mississippi. She would say, M-I, crooked, crooked, I, crooked, crooked, I, P-P-I. And I would always laugh at how she said crooked for the S's. We definitely shared a lot of laughs together, and there were times where I would make fun of her, and for that, I want to say sorry. Then there were the latter stages of her life. It was very tough to see her live in that care home, but I know she had to because it would be difficult for my grandparents sometimes she wasn't in the best condition. I wouldn't say it's a coincidence for me to add that portion to my prayer, but for some reason that seems to stick in my mind ever since she's passed. But it is true. It is hard to lose a loved one, and now it has happened to me tremendously. God, please help all of us, not just me, get through this loss and take care of another angel up there with you. And just know, Nana, we all, crooked, you, and love you. Rest in peace, Nana. Your tutong will never forget you.
I only have one thing to say. I never said it to her. That I love you, Lord. I never said anything, Lord. Don't even regret that now.
We have till 9 o'clock here, so if you'd like to go and have refreshments in the other room, it's just out the door to the right. And then you can go see Lola if you'd like as well.